back. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, T to T. You can refer to me as Miss T. If it get to a point that y'all can't hear me, let me know. I'm back. I be using this computer to play that boxing game. So just even unplugging stuff and replugging stuff up be messing up the sound card again. I don't know. I noticed when I plug up my remote control, that I have to unplug it from the mixer into it, and then sometimes it if I leave it like that, y'all can't hear me or whatever the case. If you can't hear me, let me know. But I'm back. I know I've been gone a week and some days. I had a tough week. As I told you, I had another death in my family. Rest in peace, Camellia. This is my dad's wife, my stepmom. I love her dearly. And she passed away last week. And so as I'm getting ready to go to the funeral, I come down with COVID. So I'm pretty upset because I didn't get to go. And that would make the second time that I missed being there for my daddy, an important thing like this. And so I was in the hospital for some days, y'all. I just got out of the hospital. But my COVID, not to be a Debbie Downer, it wasn't just the COVID by itself wouldn't have been bad because I had a little bit of cough. I wasn't coughing up nothing. I had a migraine for like 6 hours. I might even had, diarrhea for like a day, but that's it. It wasn't bad by itself. But what had happened was we had weird weather. I'm expecting that you guys gonna say all around the country has been weird. One day last week, as soon as I got COVID, we had pollen fall. And I mean a good amount of it. Well, pollen affects me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a person with allergies. I wound up having a severe asthma attack. Now, my asthma attack by itself don't be seeming that severe. It be severe ones, but I can't never tell when I'm in it. I just be having trouble breathing. I'm constantly on the inhaler or whatever by itself. When you put COVID and asthma attack together, when I tell you, I had to call the ambulance, y'all. I had to call the ambulance. I normally drive myself to the ER, or maybe my daughter would take me. But this time I said, no, call the ambulance. When I tell you the pain, I had lung pain. And what I found out is that COVID is like the new pneumonia or something. It's worse than pneumonia, classification-wise. And it's a respiratory thing, and so is asthma. Put them two together, whew. And it was dangerous for me because when they tell y'all the high risk, people with the high risk, pay attention to that shit because asthma is on that list. Over 50 is on that list. There's a whole lot of things on that list I qualify, but asthma is on that list. And what happened is my body couldn't oxidate. Oxidation was lacking. I wasn't getting oxygen to my organs and inside my organs, and that could have killed me. So when I got to the hospital, even though I came in there for pain, and it was the most excruciating pain. It was worse than contractions. So you already know. I was like, oh my God, what is this? But I couldn't breathe. I was delirious. That pain was something else. But even if I get there, I said, oh, just give me some pain medicine and I'll get past it or whatever. They was like, no, you're not oxidating. So they had to put me in the hospital. And that's where I've been. And until I can maintain oxygen. And once I did, I was able to leave. But it took me a minute. So that's where I've been. I missed the funeral and everything. My condolences to my dad. I know he was hurt about it, and I'm mad as hell I couldn't be there for him and be there for the family. But I wouldn't have made it. My organs would have started shutting down. So yeah, that's an asthma attack. So if y'all got family members in your house, COVID is not the death trap that it was 3 years ago, especially if you've been out there and you got vaccinated. It's actually, you can make it through it. But when they talk about those risk factors for the elderly, people over a certain age, people with heart condition, people with asthma, think about those people in your life when you out there not masking up, or being cautious about you catching COVID and bringing it into your environment. Think about that stuff, because that asthma attack alone, coupled with COVID, by themselves, nothing. I'd have went through the COVID and be like, oh nah, that ain't really affect me. That won't nothing. But throw that asthma attack in there, and it damn near kills me. And that's no bull. So I'm glad to be here. And my oxygen level was dropping under the 70s. And like I said, I could have died. But God was showing me favor, so he brought, he sustained me. But yeah, I had to get treatments every 4 hours, breathing treatments and shit. It's crazy. But I'm okay. Yeah, and now I'm home. I gotta stay in the house for probably about a week, and then I gotta just work on getting better. I'm maintaining my oxygen now by myself. So yeah. Ooh, that was kind of scary there. But anyway, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. Some of you guys sent me emails concerning like, hey, Miss C, you okay? I'm okay. And I greatly appreciate that. Y'all know what I do at the top of my hour: water check, water check, water check. Hey, the water sustained me too, because the whole time I was there, I didn't have to go on the IV bag but once, and I did a half a bag because I've been drinking water, and that's cool. I have my own room and all that stuff. They try to make it as comfortable as possible, but I got through it. So I was mad as hell. I was up in there too the whole time. I was, listen. There's a I don't know if y'all familiar with the comedian Lavelle Crawford, but he does a comedy routine called Different Looks Same Funny. I think that's what it's called. And he talk about his white angel nurses and his black angel nurses. And I'm going to tell you, that shit is so funny because it's so real. And black women, we got to talk about this one day. We got to talk about how we be acting on the job and stuff like that. Black women, we got to do better. We got to do better. Because I sit here and wonder how hardcore did black women be, these nurses and shit, to other black women, or is it to black people in general? But I know they don't treat the white folks like that. And I wonder, do the white women be treating their white counterparts or peers hard, but treat us, treat everybody else differently? It's funny routine. But it's definitely, when I came in there, I had a Asian nurse that was my daytime nurse. And then at night, I had a white lady. And I called them angels. They were so nice, accommodating, doing everything I can, just putting up with me because I was in a bad mood. And I was talking like I'm bossing, like I'm the doctor. Look, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you're not going to do. Because, once they get in there, if you got good insurance too, they'll try to keep you in there and just spend all the money. I'm like, nah, I'm not staying here longer than we're going to fix this problem. And then the doctor, they come in there and bark or order at you. Well, I'm going to just report you're not complying. I laughed at him. I said, I don't care what you do. You still going to treat me. I'm leaving when my oxygen is sustained. So, I mean, I'm a handful. I ain't going to lie. Because I don't want to be there. And I'm mad as hell. And I'm tired of doctors doing what the fuck they want to do and being all about the money. So you got to be more assertive in your care and make them do what you want to do. The customer is always right, But as soon as the shift changed and they brought the new group in, it was all black women. I said, oh, I got to get the hell out of here, dog. I'm going to tell y'all about it too. Like, they fucked up first thing in the morning. As soon as they did that first fuck up, man, I started getting undressed out that gown and started putting my clothes on. They was like, you got to stay. I said, shit, that's what you like to think. I'm out. But anywho, Water check, water check, water check. Drink your water up, y'all. This would, hey, drinking water saved me. I gotta say that. Drinking water saved me. I could have had all kinds of problems. Everything could have shut down. I wasn't oxidating, but I had plenty of water in my system. It saved me. So we tell you at Boxing Fans Talk TV that you should drink at least 100 ounces of water per day. If you're an adult, you can drink a gallon. That's 128. Drink your water up. Winter, summer, spring, fall. It don't matter. Please drink your water, And I'm living proof just now what happened to me. The importance of drinking water, because had I not drank water like I be drinking, I would have had more problems. But if you're not a big water drinker, first thing in the morning before the toes hit the ground, drink you 8 ounces, have it on the nightstand, have it ready. We even advocate that you get a small fridge in your room, just so, because you might like your water cold, but learn how to drink your water room temperature, okay? And think of your body as an engine and the water is the lube, and you getting everything up and running and moving in an efficiently and timely manner. The second time is at night. When you get out the shower or whatever, you're going to sit down, watch a program on TV, read a passage in a book or an article. You ain't going to sleep right away. That's when you drink your other water. 8 ounces. Have it ready. And the American Heart Association agrees that drinking water before bed is good for your heart. I had no heart problems when I was in there. Everything was working. I just couldn't maintain oxygen. And I had, like I said, my water intake was on fleek. It was on fleek. And that's good to be able to spend that many days in the hospital and they ain't putting you on the IV. Because, once they put you on it, if you're not a water drinker, you be in that bathroom all day, right? Not me. I didn't have to be on water like that. So drink your water. There's a lot of reads going on at night when you're in a deep sleep, not a cat nap. You revamping, rebooting, recharging, recreating cells. And so it's a lot of work being done. That's why the average person burns between 900 to 1,000 calories at night in a deep sleep. That's better than any workout you could ever do. And that's guaranteed to happen. So drink your water. Just drink up, Like I said, 2023 and forward, nobody should be dehydrated. Nobody should have a dehydration problem. So water check, water check, water check. Moving on. Let's do a little housekeeping. Please, 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 in my humblest voice ever, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, don't worry about it. You locked in. You ain't got to hit that button again. You in there. When you watching me on replay, make sure you hit the like and share. And do leave a comment. And thank you guys for all your emails of concern. I got them. I saw them. Thank you. And I was moved by them. And that's why I said, man, let me get back. But when you get out the hospital, you kind of in a weakened state until you can, excrete all that medicine they put in you out. So that's what's going on with me. But I said, you know what, I'm going to get up on here today and talk about something, because I've been away and I didn't get to see no boxing this weekend. I caught the end of the Super Bowl, and that was some good little action, but I usually don't like to watch football. It's like watching paint dry to me a little bit, but I think that was, looking at the scores and looking at the very end, like I did, I was like, maybe that was an exciting game. But, it'd be too long. Football be too long, shawty. But some people, my family like the Chiefs, so they was happy about that win. Sorry for the Eagles. Maybe next year. But yes, and if you have any questions about anything that I've said in the past, future, or present, because you just know who I am, you know what I'm going to say, hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. And that nice little yellow Boxing Fans Talk TV with the $sign on the side, that's my Cash App. Jump on it. Jump on it. Do a jig. Embrace it. Become one with it. I'm appreciative of all proceeds that come through it. As I tell y'all, they go back into the channel for this nice gear that I use to bring this program to life. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. I come on Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless something happens. So y'all see. So before we get into everything, let me do my introduction. Hey, Fistiana Fights. What's up, Queen? Welcome to the building. She said good evening. Good evening, Queen Reginald Peters. What's poppin', King? He said, hey, Miss T. Fistiana Fights said, condolences to your family. Thank you, love. Thank you. Yes. She had been battling a couple of things, and they getting older. That's what's starting to happen. You get to a point in your life where you're especially your parents, because she's a stepmother. So my mom, her, my dad, they're all of a certain age, and so things like this is to be expected. So it's a sad part, like, of getting older. I don't like it, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather I'd rather for it never to happen to anybody. You want to keep your loved ones with you forever, but the way my nephew passed, that was harder to me than somebody who's sick or who's older. Natural causes and stuff like that. This Fistiana said it's a blessing that you are doing better. Yeah. It's the water, and it's what I've been eating. Everything else was working. It's just, I guess I have to believe them. Two respiratory things at one time. That was a doozy. That's what they call it. They said COVID is now like worse than pneumonia. Even if it don't affect you as hard as pneumonia, that's a respiratory thing. And then you have another respiratory thing. You put them two together, that's a ticking time bomb. So what I've learned is that risk factor that they talk about, take heed in that with your loved ones that's around you. And if you don't like the mask and vaccinating and all that for yourself, do it for the loved ones around you. Because, like, my whole house came down with COVID, the whole house. And it was, and COVID by itself was easy. My kid got it before I did. And she was suffering worse than me. Like, when I got it, it was like, but then I had that pollen came down, and I had caught an asthma attack. Oh my God. Without the asthma attack, it'd have been nothing. I can honestly say that. So that risk factor, I told my kid or everybody who come to my house, think about me before you come up in here. ATL was popping, King. Said, Miss T, what's up, Queen? Glad to see you back, child. Glad to be back. Donut Hoes, what's popping, King? He said, ATL, what up, bro? And he said, what up, fam? Okay, look. So I know y'all saw the Super Bowl. I hope y'all glad about what team won and this, that, and the other. I ain't gonna be long on that one because, as I said before, I don't really do Super Bowl like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all the surprise that I said I had before. Okay, when the fight was announced with Adrian Broner and Red Cash, I was gonna be a part of the media team. That was my surprise. I didn't want to speak on it because you'd be superstitious a little bit. You don't want to jinx it. I was gonna be on the red carpet speaking with these folks. I was gonna be in the back locker rooms, and I was gonna be on the front, around the front of the ring, possibly commentating, working with Black Prime, BLK Prime. Then come to find out, you start learning stuff when you get on the team and all that. And I learned that BLK Prime is like a subsidiary of Jeff Bezos. So when people be talking about BLK Prime ain't got shit, or they just started coming, they ain't nothing, they kind of owned by Jeff Bezos, or they under his umbrella. So they're fine with all this sabotaging that people want to do. Now the problem was, I did have, it was a little nepotism that was going to be hooking me up to get the job. Nepotism can go a good ways. It happens, people get, it's hookups. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. So I was gonna be in there. I ain't saying I'm gonna be with them forever, But once you get an opportunity, you walk through the door, you put your best foot forward. You never know. BLK could have picked me up and said, we want you to travel with us or do a lot of our stuff. But I was going to be in that media suite with them, talking to all the fighters and all the important people, the VIPs and all that. And I was so happy when I heard about it. I was like, oh shit, the first thing I wanted to do was come tell you guys. But I said, I'm going to just let it happen. And then that was when the fight was going to be on the 18th. Then, of course, the sabotage was in. Red Cash was pulled. Then they replaced with Lundy. Then he was pulled. And then it was like, okay, the dates change. Once the dates change, all bets was off. Because once you change the dates, all those contracts you had before set up, the media company that BLK Prime hired, which hired me, that their contract was done when the dates changed. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we lost that one. But it's all good. I almost had an opportunity. So that was going to be my surprise to you guys. Donut Host, Reginald laugh out loud. ATL said I didn't watch it. Oh, you ain't watched the Super Bowl? He said laugh out loud, awesome, T. And then he said, damn, what happened? Yeah, ATL, if you talking about the BLK, that's why I was gonna be at the fight for the free. And I was gonna be on the front row too. And from what I was told, I could work the red carpet, but in the locker rooms, the commentating, I could have been anywhere or everywhere. Maybe they would have had me just holding the camera, but I was gladly welcoming any opportunity to be a part of that. So, and I would have put my best foot forward and hopefully could have parlayed that into future endeavors. That would have been the goal, but it didn't happen, but it's all good. I'm appreciative of the potential opportunity, and where there's one opportunity, there'll be more. And his chef is exactly, Queen. She said, we'll come back around, Queen. I know that's right. So that's what was going on. I was like, damn, this whole time. And I was getting ready. Yeah, I was buying outfits. I got my hair done. I was like, oh, shit. Man, Lord have mercy. I spent more than I normally do to get my hair done. I did a different style. I was ready. I was like, shit, damn. But it's all good. But like I said, I'm glad I had an opportunity to get in there. Maybe next time, that's how I'm going to look at it. Thank you, Donna Ho. He said you'd have killed it. I certainly hope so. I ain't shy. Not no more. I used to be. But I ain't shy. Thanks to that fine Navy I was in that took the shyness out of me. In other news, let me talk about this. How many of y'all have gone to Steam on your PC to play that boxing game? That shit is fun. I can't wait till it come out to the console. I've been playing that thing as much as I can. Probably not as much as some of you guys, but I've been playing it now. I've solicited the help of my 12-year-old nephew because the thing that I can say I'm lacking is remote control etiquette. I don't know how to work the remote. I don't play video games, so working a PlayStation 5 remote control, it's gonna take getting used to. But I'm learning the moves. Once that becomes second nature to me, I'm sure I'm gonna be housing niggas. But if you got it on Steam, let put in your chat what's your call sign? I don't know what to call that. Your little call sign, so I can write it down and then we can log some hours in playing it. And like I said, I'm probably easy to be beaten right now because I don't know how to work this remote control that great. But I've been winning some fights. I be playing turns too. That's the only fighter I pick. And they always put him in there with Sugar Ray Robinson. Damn, that motherfucking Sugar Ray Robinson bad as hell. ATL said I would have been beside you. That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm still thinking about going ATL. I'm thinking about it, but it depends on how I feel. This this bout that I just went through with the asthma attack and COVID, man, that shit knocked me on my ass. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna be better. I'm good. You know, God got me. God got me. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make it there if I can. If I can't, of course, I'm gonna support by buying the fight. Of course, I'm gonna do that. But if y'all ain't got that game on Steam, back to that, you should get it. It's $29. Now I don't even mess with Steam. I'm not like I said, player of games. Me signing up for Steam and getting an account, that was all my first time, just so I can play the boxing game. And when I get off the show sometimes, that's what I go do. And I'm going to tell you, it's easy to sit there and play that game and look up in 5 hours with a pass. Yes, I love the game that much. And they got a lot to choose. Floyd, of course, he's not in the game. And I think what's happening is, as you playing the game, you working out kinks. The people who made the game can see where stuff is lacking, and they just working out the kinks. And because I noticed from the day it came out to today when I played it earlier, it's much more clear. Because back then is when they went to the corner, you could see turns and you see them clear. It looked more like them, but when they was in the ring, you couldn't really see them. And then it's almost like as you play, how they were good with putting the qualities of the fighter in the game. So as you playing turns, he's moving like turns. He doing shit. I ain't seen him stick his tongue out yet. You know how he be sticking his tongue up, he's shaking his head, or when he skipped to you and shit. I seen it skip a little bit, but not a lot. I was like, oh shit. I think as you play, it builds. You build on them. You build, the moves are inputted in the thing. So when he's backing up on the back foot and throw that punch, man, it look just like him. It looked just like him. So I'm anxious to start playing some people, and I'm gonna let my nephew acclimate me and moving the joystick and all that stuff around to try to win, because he'll beat me just on the fact that he can work that joystick blindfolded. So I'm gonna drop the link because I'm gonna need help for y'all, help me talk, because I do still run out of air a little bit quicker than I did before, but I'm better. So I dropped the link. ATL, where you at? So y'all saw the thumbnail. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia have enough barriers to get in the way, and this injury might prove to be something more profound, down the line. Tank Davis has an injury, and it's an important injury to me, because this fight is going to be won on speed and power. It really is, in my opinion. We know that Ryan is very fast, and he has power with his speed. So I mean, that upper torso, them arms flailing, he's real quick with it. Tank can be fast too, because Tank, it don't seem like it, but Tank know how to get in, hit you up, move out, spin out. He very good with using lateral movements, but Tank set traps, and when you walked into his traps, they are coming at you fast. So, but you need your legs. That's the whole point. No matter how they moving, when you talking speed, you talking legs, and ankles are a very important part of your feet leg combination. And Tank apparently injured his ankle to the point that he went to the Super Bowl game in a wheelchair. How many of y'all knew that? He showed up in a wheelchair this past weekend, he must really love football, because he had to think about that, what it's going to look like, what the speculation going to be. And from my understanding, the Super Bowl was in Arizona, right? So you more on Ryan's side of the world, and so there'll be people that's more sympathetic to Ryan, or probably leaning towards Ryan than Tank. So he coming up in the Super Bowl in a wheelchair when he has a pending fight coming in April, supposedly. Now, he suffered from this ankle injury, but they don't go into depth as to what type of injury, how serious it is, what kind of recovery he need, whatever. He looked weird in the thing, like he actually sick or something. In the picture that I saw, but he got an ankle injury, and like I said, they don't really say how or why he got the injury. But we should all know that it's all good, and it won't disrupt the pending fight, and that's what Tank want everybody to know. It's all good, people. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. And the first fight, their fight is slated for April 15, 2023. Then they done went back to that date. Now, we know from the rumblings, and I've been trying to keep up, but I didn't hear nothing like the contract is fully signed. But it's kind of official and it's not. Like, I don't know what they working out, I don't know if y'all been looking at some of the video clips out there of Bernard Hopkins. He on his advocacy campaign. He talking about the Ali Act. This fight is bringing up some very important issues that we got to face as boxing fans going forward. Well, first of all, the wrong side of the street type biz, getting the fight done, promoters getting in the way, how much money should be, paid to these fighters. As per Bernard Hopkins, the days of overpaying fighters is done. I believe him to a certain extent. He also talked about it should be transparency, opening up, where it can be transparent as to the negotiation. You have to see all the money that's coming in. You have to. And when people get mad at certain fighters because they want transparency, that don't make sense. If you want to get mad at a fighter looking for transparency, you can go all the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson. That dude will cancel a fight the day of the fight because of simple stuff. He can say, I want the ring to be this size. Let it be an inch off. He'll cancel the fight until you fix that. Can you imagine Cruz coming in at the last minute to fix an inch or two? Size of the ring. He's been known to cut off a fight because it was being picked up by whatever telecom media group overseas. There's money that's generated from that. And that has to be a part of the transparency. So Bernard Hopkins was like, the days of not, he said, he basically was talking, he's referencing Crawford and Spence situation, because you could tell by what he's saying. It sounded like something that Crawford had faced with dealing with Al Heyman with the transparency. He said the days of not opening the books and all that, that's old. You can't do that no more. He said, I've advocated that because that's how you can cheat people and misuse them and misabuse them. He's talking about the best fighting the best. Get the matchup on. How big and worthwhile the promotional company is going to be if they slouching, if they're not willing to put on the best fights, and let's get it in. Let's get to the boxing, and let's take upsides and downsides of the business boxing, like a little bit more cautiously, or just respectfully, cautiously, understandably, like, okay, you might put a fight on and you think it was going to do good, and it did okay. And that might be a downside to you. But your next fight could be an upside. You could put on a fight that you thought was going to be okay, but it did great. But if you balance it out and pay people fair wages and pay people what they worth, but the overpaying of it all. And the only way that you can get to a point where that can be rectified is to open the books totally and let people see all the money that's going to be generated. And you can tell that before the first bell even ring. What all monies that's going to be coming in, expected projection rates. And people will be like, well, it wasn't spent yet, but there's speculation is a job in America for a reason. It's a job everywhere in the world. Like whole countries rest on speculation. And that's like incredible science in a sense. You can speculate how well a product gonna do or a fight gonna do and be either accurate or damn near accurate or not far off. Very seldom is speculation gonna go down and you're just like a 180 from what actually happened. But if you open the books, and if I'm Terrence Crawford and I see, oh, the UK gonna bring me in 50 million off the rip, and the United States gonna bring in 100, and then you start counting like that, then you can guesstimate or make up in your mind when you sign that contract, you can accept the 35% a lot better. Because 35% of $150 million is a nice chunk of change. But if you're not opening them books and letting each party know what's coming in, and you can tell them anything, like they boo-boo the food. You can tell them anything, and they'll just go along to go along. Andrew Charles is in the building. What's popping, King? And ATS, I'm coming, Queen. Charging my Chromebook. I got you. So this whole Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight, that's what it's bringing out. And I'm going to tell y'all, the next big promotional organization that's about to pop, about to be the big kid on the block for a minute, is Golden Boy. Somebody done woke the sleeping giant. And y'all can say what y'all want. Floyd Mayweather wouldn't be half the man he is, or he wouldn't be where he is today without Golden Boy. And Floyd could tell you that. Floyd could tell you that. All the monies that Floyd made came in his business venture with Golden Boy. Like it or love it. Or hate it. It came with Golden Boy. And some of those statements that Floyd made back in the day, I still remember when he was like, you might as well call me the Golden Boy. I done beat everybody on your squad. Well, what? They build them up and I knock them down. Floyd say those things. He used to thank Richard Schaefer. Richard Schaefer is an excellent businessman. He was heading up Golden Boy. He was doing the work when Oscar couldn't be there for whatever reason. Or he worked with Oscar. He made sure Golden Boy stayed afloat. And Golden Boy during the Floyd era put on some excellent fights. B-Hop was there. Oscar was there. You talking about two excellent, great-ass fighters. Hall of Fame fighters. They know a little bit about the inside of the rope game as well as the business side. And B-Hop is making sense. He's making sense. And he said he going to get on his campaign again. He said he was the one advocating for the Ali Act before it came to fruition. And he back on that shit. Advocating. Trying to get everything up and running right and all that stuff. Spilling the beans if he got to. You know what I'm saying? Reginald, what's poppin', King? What you got on it? Unmute your mic, Reginald. Reginald. Can't hear you. I hope we ain't got no problem. I know all you guys can hear me. Nobody said they can't hear me. Reginald, can you hear us? Because we can't hear you. Reginald? Anyway, Reginald, whenever you get it together, just come through. But yeah. So Bernard Hopkins is out there. The pitfalls that he's coming into when trying to put this fight with Ryan and them together. A lot of people believing that Ryan is going to be Tank. A lot of people starting to see that. And I'm going to say this. Y'all know how I feel about Ryan Garcia. I don't be trusting nothing this dude say. But I believe he really do want to fight Tank. I don't know why I believe it. And I'm scared to set myself up like that. I wonder how you guys feel. But I can believe that he want to fight. He want to fight Tank. I just, with Ryan, you gotta hold your tongue a little bit, like, because you never know with him. Anything can pop up. But I think he ready. Ryan was talking about the demands that Al Heyman was putting on them that was unfair. Like, you can't take a tune-up fight, but Tank can. Different stuff like that make you want to root for Ryan. And Al Heyman, this is why I know Fred from Barbershop always advocate that he's bad for boxing, but he doesn't make he doesn't make his case look any better. He doesn't make his case look better. What's up, Reginald? Damn, man. Knock one of the things out. Reginald, I don't know what's going on. Your little circle ain't even moving. So either you got to turn on your mic or something. Andrew Charles, because I can hear. Like, let me see. I'm gonna play one of my little commercials. Do I still got that commercial? Yeah, I used to say, play that commercial. Let me see. Reginald, I hear the commercial, but I can't hear you. Quentin Bradley is in the building. What's Papa King said? Good evening, Miss T. Good evening. But yeah, all the barriers that it seemed like Golden Boy and Al Heyman are facing, putting this Tank and Ryan fight on, is what they could go through dealing with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. And B-Hop he's on this campaign. And he's pointing out the inconsistencies and the avocation. I don't think he's putting down Al Heyman in the process or anything, but he's talking about, the transparency thing. Why is it so difficult? Are you going to be one of them companies that you don't want to put on good fights, or whatever the hell? Let's get back into the business of boxing. He addressed the fact that people feel like boxing is dying, and he was like, no, we made it through the 30s, meaning after the Great Depression, boxing survived. Boxing survived a lot of things that it should have just derailed, but it survived. It survived the COVID, but, it's just, okay, I hope it works. Reginald. Oh, man. I don't know what's going on, dog. I'm going to put this link back in the chat. PGH Big Dog was Poppy King. He says, salute Queen T. I put the link in the chat, y'all. I don't know what's going on with your thing, Reginald, because I can't hear you. I don't think nobody can hear you. Your circle not even moving. You see how my circle move every time I talk? But, yeah, so, now, Tank Davis showing up to the Super Bowl. If he was injured, he should have stayed home somewhere. That's just the practical sense. But like, he's a fan. He's a grown man. He can do what he want to do. But he came out there in that wheelchair, so he already know what the speculation gonna be. And I'm gonna tell you, this fight is gonna be won on speed and power. How that comes to be a part, I couldn't tell you. Hello, Reginald? Reginald? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Shawty. PGA said Ryan is a motherfucking duck. He pulled he a duck. He the pullout. Oscar Fishnets did the same BS with Munguia. I don't know, PGH. I think Ryan do really want to fight with Tank. And y'all know I'm not a Ryan fan at all. I don't think, but then look at, what do you say, PGH, to Tank showing up to the Super Bowl with an injured ankle for the world to see, being rolled in a wheelchair? What do you say to that? Is he looking for a out? Because that's what people are starting to say. I see it, Reginald. You say you can't get your mic on. I don't know. I don't know what you think, PGH. I wouldn't, y'all know I've been very critical of Ryan Garcia. But the moves he's making lately are boxing moves that show he wants to fight. He could have easily took a soft touch, and they could find him for him. But he didn't, because Al Heyman did not want him to fight a tune-up. Now you have to sit there and ask yourself, what kind of bull hockey is that, where Al Heyman don't want a potential opponent of his fighter to have a tune-up when he got time to do it? Why do he make the demands that he make? Some of y'all would call it good business. I would call it bullshit. I would call it him. This is the reason why they can say this nigga is ruining boxing. Like, I don't know how anybody can sit there and do something to people that they don't like done to them. I don't get that. Never would I ever. Never would I ever. PGA said, how many fights do Ryan pull out or duck in the last 2 years? Haney, Tank, JoJo. That's true, PGH. But he looked like he really wants this fight with Tank. And PGH, I could be wrong. Because like I said, I'm very critical of Ryan. Very critical. I've even did a show on where I talked about him like a dog and his fans, just to show y'all that his following on social media did not translate into boxing fans. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I wouldn't dare get on here and do any kind of negative campaigning against Beyonce. You know why? The Beehives don't really watch my goddamn show. But I like Beyonce, number one, but she alright. She ain't my favorite singer at all. She ain't the best singer to me at all. But I like her. She's very talented. But I don't want the Beehives coming in swarming, fucking up my shit. You know what I'm saying? That's when whatever she does, her following translates to whatever she does. Ryan, not so much. I talked about him like a dog on purpose. I talked about him in ways that I don't talk about people like that. You can almost see that it don't even look or feel good. It wasn't even that exciting of a show, because it's not me. It's not naturally how I talk about people, even when I don't like them. But, I was sick of Ryan shit. I was like, he not a boxer. Miss me with all this social media shit. I talked about his fans like they were dumb and shit. I called them every name I could in the book. And do you know not one of them maybe one person defended. Out of 8 million? Really? So to me, I proved my point. When the end of the show came, I proved my point. His following don't know shit about his boxing career and could care less. Ryan Garcia is a nice looking man that can kind of be a model, who happened to be a part of a brutal sport, and it makes him bang on his chest and feel like Captain Caveman. PGA said then he lied about facing Manny Pacquiao. He had clout chasing up. Somebody could have lied to him, but maybe he did lie, PGH. I ain't capping for him. But that fight between him and Gervonta is going to be good. Sorry, I was drinking. No matter how we can feel about it, that fight going to be good. Ryan has a chance. Y'all don't think so? He does. PGA said stop with the Al Heyman hate. Ryan came out and said he didn't want a tune-up, then changed it to Heyman. He all cap. It's not Al Heyman hate, PGH. He ain't the only one that say I'll do shit like that. Al makes unfair demands. He don't do it to his fighters, that goes without saying, but to his fighters' opponents. That's an unfair thing to ask a person. It's like you can knock on my door and ask to borrow sugar or something, right? But don't ask to borrow my goddamn car. Hell no. That's when the chip, you be like, what? You have to scratch your head at somebody and be like, what? This nigga actually asked to borrow the keys to my car? You got me fucked up. But if you ask me for sugar, I'd be like, sure, come in. How much you need? But the keys to my car? And that's Al Heyman. He asked for the keys to the car. He asked for big shit that he shouldn't ask for. But that's Al. And like I said, Ryan is not the first person to say that. If you listen to AB, sometimes you'll hear it in his statements. Bud Crawford have said it. I mean, so it's not no hate, PGH. L Dub is in the building, was popping king. So Ryan do seem like and is moving like he wants this fight. He did not take a tune-up. He is practicing. I haven't seen yet how he trying to back out. Him and Oscar with the picture, with the contract, Oscar had to put his foot down. I don't know. It may happen. If it don't, we should never be surprised. But I like the conversation that's coming out of this potential fight in regards to boxing as a whole. I like what B-Hop is talking about. I'm with him with his campaigning of trying to get boxing better. And one of these promotional companies about to be the cat daddy on the block. Again, maybe, they take turns. It seemed like Golden Boy, they have awakened the sleeping giant. Post-Mayweather era. Hood champion boxing and sports is in the building, was popping. He said 100%. Wilder and his team are smart. I expect him to announce a big name for his next fight. At the same time, I don't expect him to fight Ruiz. Wilder wants big money. Ruiz just got, he has to fight Herkovich, and that's per the IBF ordered it. So that is Andy Ruiz's next fights. The IBF has ordered a fight between him and Herkovich. So Deontay and Ruiz won't be fighting. So I expect that too. Yeah, you got Deontay now complaining about Al Heyman. So PGH, you gotta let go your glowing feelings about PBC or Al Heyman. Is just the company. He's not doing it altogether well. He is okay. He know how to make money for himself, but the fighters are suffering. And then B-Hop talking about something very important. How in the fuck is Al Heyman getting 25% to 35% cut? That's a lot for an advisor. That's a whole motherfucking lot of money. I would say 5%, no more than 10% should be a cut for a manager. You are cutting into the person's profit. You might as well, by the time a fighter pays everybody they gotta pay, is it even worth it for them? You should not, if that's the career that these young people are choosing for themselves, and it's an arduous one, it's not an easy career, it shouldn't be to the point that when they get paid, they gotta wonder, is it worth it? No job that you will ever do in life, you should feel that way. It doesn't matter if you're a ditch digger or you're working at a fast food restaurant. A job is a job. But when you've done with the job, if you feel like, was it even worth it? You shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way when you're trying to do something. Something could be as simple as maybe you need to go on a diet. After you work out and do everything that it is to do, you shouldn't feel like, was it worth it? Because that's a lot of work. Arduous work, painstaking work. Blood, sweat, and tears, right? Trying to get in shape. It don't come easy. But if you plugging away doing this shit and you can't even lose an ounce, was it worth it? So I'm with Bernard Hopkins in his advocation. And this Ryan fight and Tank fight is bringing that shit back to the forefront. And in the sense he's addressing AB's issues from the past with Al Heyman, Terrence Crawford issues, now Deontay Wilder issues, Mickey Bay's issue, Lonnie Love issues. Is it Lonnie Love? Not Lonnie Love. Lonell B or whatever his name was. You know, you got these fighters putting their blood, sweat, and tears and being prepared for a fight just to entertain us, and everybody ripping them off. And even when they honored the contract and they moved on and they ready to move on, they can't move on in peace because the motherfucker still got his grips on them. That shit need to be addressed. It's ruining boxing when it's set up like that. Yeah, I'm not making Red Catcher to no angel, but y'all remember how inconsolable he was when they pulled that fight. He was going to get a nice payday. He wanted that. Considering what's going on, he's Ukrainian. Probably all his family is over there. His wife, his kids. After that war, it's going to take money to bounce back and have a normal, decent life that you once had before the war. It might take money to move out that country and move somewhere else until that country get back on its feet. That's what his fight with Adrian Broner was going to be until somebody wanted to sabotage the shit. But people do that shit and they sleep like a baby. And they're ruining boxing. Ruining it. That would have been a good start back fight for Adrian. People would have paid and people would have been entertained. You know, why try to sabotage shit? That's why I say you have collateral damage. I told y'all I was going to be working that fight. I'm collateral damage. Look at the opportunity it cost me. I ain't crying about it. It happens. It happens. I told you I did my bit for God and country. I planted my flag. I did my 20 years in the military. That was my main thing to do. I did it. I accomplished it. I'm finished. I'm good for the rest of my life. Basically, no matter what works out for me or not work out for me. I haven't worked since 2012 and I ain't skipped a beat. And I still live the same way I did 12 years ago. I have food in my house. I just bought 2 brand new cars last year and I don't have a job. What that tell you? So it really don't matter what I do going forward. I hope that I'm successful, but all I can do is try, give it a good try. But I don't have to break my ass, and that don't have to be the mainstay or the main staple of what I'm trying to do for me and my family. Well, these fighters, that's the main staple. That's what they doing for their families and them. And you're taking it out of them. You got your clutches so deep. And right now, one of the biggest culprits is Al Hammond. He ain't the only one, PGH, though. He ain't the only one. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Eddie Hearn can't be just as devious or Bob Arum or whoever else. All of them got some devilish ways. But right now, the big person on the block that's like that is motherfucking PBC. I would say in politics, the Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Why can I say that in politics? They the only ones cool with taking your health care. If I didn't have the health care that I have, what would I have done this past week? I wasn't worried about it. They weren't worried about it. They was trying to keep me in that bitch. Obviously, I got that good of a health care. They had plenty of money. Ask me how much I paid for that stay and all that work that they was doing for me. Zero. That's how good my health care is. Zero. So, I don't have those worries, but I'm not a fighter. And I, I'm beginning to be very optimistic and glad about this Ryan and Gervonta fight. Even if it don't happen, look what the things that are coming out of it. I'm glad Golden Boy is waking back up and doing what they got to do. Maybe they'll balance this shit out. I'm glad that business, doing what it does, is checks and balances. It's balancing the shit out. I don't know if y'all noticed. Have y'all been looking at Showtime and seeing the Paramount logo in the corner? I'm gonna tell you, there's a couple of Showtime fights that supposed came on, did not come on. Did not come on. I didn't see it. I couldn't find it on the guide or anything. I wonder what happened. All of that stuff is necessary because we can't keep shitting on the fighters. So that's what's coming. To me, this is a secondary that's coming out of this fight that's brewing. As far as Tank Davis being hurt, I'm going to tell you, speed and power is going to determine the winner of a Tank and Ryan fight. And that ankle injury might be proven it to do something to Tank in the long run. If he had to be wheeled in a wheelchair this weekend at the Super Bowl, we almost at the end of February, or we mid-February. Their fight is April 15th. How much healing you think he gonna do between here and there, where it's like he never had the injury? Tank ain't no spring chicken. He 28 now. He getting to that magic age of 30 when your body be like, never mind, and be doing whatever it's gonna do. But for me, at this point, I hope that fight come through. I like the secondary stuff that's coming out of it, the talks and addressing of issues in a serious way. But I think that fight is a 50-50 at this point. I never thought it was at first. But with his injury, I got it 50-50. Because speed and power will determine the winner. Mark my words. But moving on, I did put the link in. Anybody who want to chime in and talk about that, you feel free to hit the link. I do want to let y'all know that Edgar Berlanga has signed with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. This is something new. He was with Top Rank. So he has left Top Rank. And he signed a multi-fight deal. Now, the thing about Top Rank is the place, in my opinion, that you go to when you start in your career. They're very good with that shit. And how you start is kind of how you finish. If you got a good start, you can have a good finish. But now in the middle is what give me pause about Top Rank. Because that's when the shit get haywire. But the beginning part of your career, that is to me, if I'm looking at the different organizations, the different promotional companies, that's the company. They develop well. They very structured. I don't know what it is, but that is the place. If you're starting off and you have to have a promotional company, Top Rank's you got. Now, once you get knee deep into your career, you might want to think about something else. It depends on how it played out for you. And Edgar Berlanga, we know he had some issues. He wasn't all that he was cracked up to be. But, hey, I see an angling of sorts with this move with Eddie Hearn. He signed a multi-fight deal. He is considered a middleweight. And this is the anchoring that I think they're doing. They are anchoring for a showdown with Canelo. And Canelo will want that fight. And that fight will make money. And Canelo will destroy him. Did y'all see the game? I made a bunch of predictions right here when they ain't nowhere near this. They are nowhere near getting a fight with Canelo, but that is the game. That is the end game. That is probably why he signed with Eddie Hearn. Because Eddie Hearn is going to be the one doing Canelo fights in the future. And I bet you, given the chance, Canelo would jump at a chance to fight Berlanga. Because that's an easy win. There's another reason why that will make a good fight or a good business move on Edgar's part, Oscar's part, and possibly not Oscar, I'm sorry, Eddie's part, because that's going to be a Puerto Rican and Mexican showdown. And we know that's a rivalry that makes money. That's going to be a major showdown. That's going to be a big fight. And Canelo will make $50 million or whatever fuck he make for fighting him. And it's going to be a good look fight for Canelo. Because I don't think Berlanga can handle him. But Berlanga got youth on his side. He's 25. And he's game for it. So, Eddie, that was a good move. That was a good one. In other news, too, you got Stanionis versus Ortiz. They are official now, in my opinion. Now, at this point with boxing, nothing is nothing until you see it happen, till you hear the bell ring. And we have to believe that about everybody. But Stanionis and Ortiz is, I think, an official fight. And Ortiz is following or taking a page out of Earl Spence' book. He's endearing himself to Cowboys and all that stuff. Because I think they fighting in Arlington. Isn't that where the Cowboys Stadium stuff is? I think they're going to be doing something there. You know, Ortiz being from Texas. That's going to be a big fight. Stanionis, I think holds the regular WBA belt or something like that. It's gonna be on the zone. This Stanionis versus Ortiz in Arlington, Texas. And like I said, Stanionis is defending the WBA regular secondary belt or something. This fight went to purse bid, and Golden Boy won the purse bid. I didn't know that. They won this fight went to purse bid last year, and Golden Boy won it in December. Now that was supposed to be the fight in March, but it got delayed because Stanionis had to go through an appendectomy. He had his appendix taken out, I think, in early January. So that's a legit thing, You could check that. That's a legit thing. And he had to get his appendix taken out. So they had to put the delay on. But like I said, the date is considered official. Now, here's the thing. This is what I love. This is why I say Golden Boy is the sleeping giant that's been awakened. So we had some brouhaha about Terrence Crawford talking to Golden Boy and taking that picture with B-Hop and all this good stuff. But guess what? Turns out, these men are smarter than people like to give them credit. Either one who wins this fight between Ortiz and Stanionis is potentially setting themselves up for something good. If Stanionis wins, he gets to go at Errol Spence, or Scary Fish, as I'm going to start calling him. He ain't the big fish. He's Scary Fish now, because he's scared to fight at 147. That's why he's moving up. And then we know if he moves up, he ain't coming back. So we have to assume that he's dropping the belts. But then they talk about it like he's not going to drop the belts. He don't want to drop the belts because he want to be relevant. He don't want to be naked out there without no belts. But he going to have to. He going to slap the shit on the pot to get off. He can't be campaigning at 154 and holding on to 147 belts. That shit can't happen. And I'm going to tell you something. Somebody made this point and I saw it. So shout out to that person. But if they make this fight at 154, this is another reason why I say that fight with Keith Thurman, that is smoke and mirrors. That is buying Scary Fish time to figure out what he's going to do. Because if they go through with this fight, they will be breaking their 501c3 nonprofit rules. They will be breaking their rules in some form of fashion. And I'm going to tell you, with B-Hop on a campaign and on the terror to clean up boxing, because he figured shit, ain't nobody else going to do it. You can't take, this is why you fight for your legacy. You can say what you want. B-Hop ain't worried about that. He got all the money he need in the world. It ain't about the money for him. He is a legacy Hall of Famer. So he did that. You know what I'm saying? You can't take his accomplishments away from him. And he did things that a lot of people would never be able to do. Who would fight for title fights at the age he was doing it? Ain't nobody doing that shit. You can't take away what he did. So his legacy is intact. So it's win-win for him to go in and advocate for the fighters that came behind him. If they go through that, there will be many people, retired boxers, active boxers, active people in boxing, fans, and all we got to do is call our local congressman and fuck Mauricio shit all the way up. And whoever involved with them. You cannot have a sanctioned fight like he wants to do it at 154 when you already have a clear undisputed champion. You can't do that.
You can't charge nobody for that fight. And you know that's Mauricio's bottom line. That's his end game. He don't he want you to have to pay him to fight. You can't do it the way you're doing it. You're gonna be breaking some rules. So your nonprofit is gonna be profit. You can lose your 501c. So that means everybody with a WBC belt, what is it gonna mean? If he loses 501c, if he get in trouble with the WBC belt, where they have to pause that bitch or put it on hold or whatever the fuck. Think about all the fighters that's going to affect in the whole spectrum of boxing. And people going to tell. Nobody's going to sit back and watch this monstrosity. It ain't going to happen. That's why I say it ain't going to happen. It's smoke and mirrors. It's buying time. Something Earl Spence said he couldn't stand that Keith Thurman was engaged in. But he doing it himself. That's why I call him Keith Thurman 2.5. He doing the same thing. So what they're saying is, if Stanionis win, he can get that fight with Earl Spence. Because after all, they have a contract, right? You know, he might have to get in line still. Because you got IBF. That's legitimate. With the Boost situation. You got Terrence Crawford. That's legitimate. And fan friendly. Like the fans want that shit. And Keith Thurman shit is legit. So it's all on Scary Fish, i.e. Earl Spence. But that's what'll happen. Stanionis to be in line. If Ortiz win, same thing. He'll be in line. But Ortiz could also be in line to fight Terrence. He can also be elevated to the super champion if he wins. And then wind up fighting Terrence. And the winner can take both of those belts. So that is the good thing about them two meeting. It's a potential setup fight for the other belts. Now then throw in the fact that Terrence Crawford had the meetings with Oscar and B-Hop. Why wouldn't he? Don't this make sense? If he can't get it one way, he has to get it another way. He can't get Scary Fish to get in the ring with him. So if Scary Fish want to throw his career and legacy away and throw the belts away or drop them or whatever, he already know where they going next. One of them going directly either to Stanionis or Ortiz. And since both of them following, Oscar right now, why wouldn't Bud talk to them? That sounds like good business. Then all you have to do is go after Boost last. The wagons are circling around Earl Spence. And people are trying to make moves, and Golden Boy is waking up. They finding their balls. And they going balls to wall. And that's a good thing for boxing. When you can have checks and balances and everything to ferret things out and balance things out and make it fair for everybody across the board. And that's what's going on. Now, like I said, I've been gone for a minute, and I've been trying to keep up with some things, and some things I might not have been able to keep up with, but that's what I've seen when I got the reading today. These are the things that stuck out to me. As I appreciate, Reginald, you did try to come through. I don't know why your mic wasn't working. Anywho, I just wanted to come through. I can't. I ain't gonna say can't do it, but I'm not gonna push myself that hard to talk too long, because I'm still trying to. I have been able to sustain my oxygen, levels with on my own, but it's gonna take me about a week to recover completely. So, anywho, thank y'all for listening. Like I said, if you have any questions or anything, please hit me up. I'll get back in the swing of things. I'm I'm kind of a little sad that I didn't get to do the BLK fight, and I was so looking forward to that. But that was gonna be my surprise when y'all looking at the fight and y'all see me on there talking to them on the red carpet or in the back when they wrapping the gloves, wrapping the hands and putting the gloves on, or maybe even sitting at the table helping commentating or saying something. I don't know what capacity. He said they were telling me be prepared to work in any capacity of the whole fight. So that what I was doing, and then to have front row seats, man, shit, that would have been grand. That would have been grand. Captain Fool, I see you come in. I seen you come through. What's up, player? Thank y'all for those concerning emails. I'm good. It happens. Be safe out there, y'all. Take COVID seriously. And the people that's around you who have risk factors, think about them. Seriously, think about your family and loved ones or people you care about. Even if you don't like them, think about people that's around you that could fall in these high risk categories. This shit is true, y'all. I just want to make sure y'all know that. This shit is true. So when they was talking about the asthma, you fuck around have an asthma attack with COVID, you're gonna lose your ability for a minute to oxidize, to carry oxygen around your body and for it to be oxidating in your body. And that could kill you. So, you hate to die with something simple like that. Be careful out there, the weather changing. Dress appropriately for the weather all year round. And drink your water. Stay drinking your water. Because that you never know. That'll save your life too. Dan Tan was popping, King. I see you. That's a little Queen T. Other than that, man, I dropped the link. I'll stick around for a little second. Let me see. Where did I drop the link? Let me drop it again. If somebody want to come in and put their stank on it, talk about some stuff that I might not have been privy to because I've been gone for about a week. But do go out. It's worth it, I think, to get that game steam and just practice. I can tell you now that when it comes to the console, that's gonna be one of my favorite games. Cause like I said, I be sitting here at this computer and I don't even like sitting over here all day. And I'll look up at 5-6 hours with a pass. And I'll be really into the game. Like it is good. The graphics are good. They're moving and good. The shit look more real. It just, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that I didn't see that that's kind of throwing me off, like the one referee, they gotta get some more refs. They gotta get Bird, they gotta get Tony Dock, and even Jack Rizzo punk ass. You gotta get Steven Willis. You gotta get some more refs in there. Even if you gotta go back to the old retro refs that are retired by now. You have to somehow get a contract for these trainers. Like, Terrence Crawford, we used to seeing Bomac and Red and the other, those three guys in his corner. Get them, get somebody, get them in the game. When you have Terrence, we want to see that. Errol Spence is not in the game. I don't know why. But you have to pay these fighters for their likeness and their ability to use them in the game. So, they could have went to Errol Spence and he said no. I don't know why he wouldn't, but if he doing it, trying to do a Floyd thing, again, stop with that shit. Please stop, people. Let that era go. That's what we should be doing 2023 going forward. Let the Floyd era go. What was Floyd? What was for Floyd? It was for Floyd. He got all his accolades. He got his rewards and all that. Let that shit go. because you ain't gonna see that shit happen again. And Floyd wasn't in the first fight game on PS3. I hope Floyd changed his mind and get up in there now, but so far he's not. So Terrence is there, Sugar Ray Robinson's there, Leonard is there. I think everybody could be there. I haven't checked through all the welterweights, but they got heavyweights and all that. It's a good game. I can't say nothing bad about the game. It's improving. They working out the kinks, and hopefully before the summer starts, the game will be out on console. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna burn the brakes off that motherfucker. It's $29. Steam, if you go in it, when I open it up, it's a whole lot of cutesy little games in there that I might could be interested in playing, but I definitely can see where your kids will like it, and you can connect your console joystick up to the game through the computer. So it's a good buy. It's not, you're not gonna be disappointed. Getting an account with Steam is free. Starting your account is when you start buying shit is what it costs. But those games are cheap. They're not expensive at all. So it's a good buy. I would suggest all of you guys go up there and get you some. And you can play online. I asked my nephew, could I play somebody online? And he said, yeah, even if they didn't buy the game, and I think you can. They said shit can not. They said you sharing. You got to share. And I know that probably sound crazy to people who normally play games, but I don't normally play games. So every question I ask is going to be probably evidently clear to most people, but not to me. But I'm having fun playing it. Like I said, I'll sit there. Like when I get off here and I come back to I'm going to take a break. And I come back and sit at the computer and play the game, I guarantee you 5 hours will pass. And I'll be like, damn. Just easy. I'm not hurting. I'm not bothered. I'm not, fidgeting in the seat or whatever. I'm good. And it's weird for me because I can't sit and concentrate that long on the damn game. But I did with this one. So, hey, I'm going to tell you, go cop that game. It's worth it. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Remember, when you know better, you do better. And I'm out of here in my Pamela James voice. Peace.